Alright, things are looking good. Avast, me hearties! Artemu the Violet Wizard here. And today we are continuing Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Last time we found ourselves in a very interesting alliance with our old nemesis Risky Boots, as we are now on a quest to try and defeat the Pirate Master. Someone who could definitely give us some trouble. And we managed to clear up the first main area of the game, which was Saliva Island. This time, we are going to be continuing this very interesting journey of ours. And for that, we gotta talk to our old compatriot here, in all of her evil but sensual glory. Are you ready to shove off? Yes, please, ma'am. Alright, let's do it. We still got quite a bit we still need to take care of around the Scuttletown area, but we're not going to be able to do that until a bit later. There is one other thing we'll definitely want to watch out for in a bit, but we'll take care of that in a little bit. And of course we still have another thing to collect on Saliva Island, but we'll save that for later. So our destination this time is going to be Spiderweb Island. This area definitely has a lot for us to see, so let's hop right in. This should be a good one. Already has a lot more of an oppressive atmosphere. This is Spiderweb Island. I want you to locate the next den of evil and report back. Risky, I've been wondering, how do you know so much about the Pirate Master? Because he was my mentor. I sailed under his command for some time as first mate. He taught me everything I know. You were part of his pirate crew? That's right. When the genies finally defeated him, I claimed his men and weapons as my own. You stole his stuff after he died? Call it payment for my services, which were long overdue. That flintlock pistol was once his. Oh, then I guess you should have it back. Hold on to it. You're going to need it to survive in this place. You're not coming? Trust me. You wouldn't want me for company. Best I stay with the ship. Okie dokie. Already getting a very interesting lore drop involving Risky and her past. Something I really like in this game, it really expands the character of Risky Boots, besides just being an antagonist for Shantae to battle at the end of every game. I really love it. Really makes her an exciting character in this adventure. But for now, we got ourselves a new place to explore. Spiderweb Island. We are going to see a lot of undead in this area. It's going to be zombies crawling all over the place, so you want to be careful. To dispatch of these guys, simply just gotta whip them a couple times. Definitely gotta be careful, because if you knock their head off, their bodies are still going to be able to move. So you definitely want to be careful of these guys. Ow! Alright, for whatever reason, my controls seem to be a little bit off today, but should be fine for the most part. There's a few precise things that could give us trouble, but shouldn't have to worry too much. But yeah, this area has a lot of undead. They're going to be respawning from the ground in rapid succession, so, you know, be careful. I'm actually going to try something right quick, because my controls are a little off at the moment. Alright, so I'm turning off my controller at the moment, and then I'm going to turn you back on. And hopefully you should be running a bit better. Okay, yeah, this feels much better now. Alright, we should be good. But yeah, definitely be careful here. Make sure you have plenty of healing items, because these zombos do not play around. There's a lot of these guys, and they hurt. Ow! Jeez, taking so many hits already. Ah, this place is kind of annoying. So you head over this way. This wagon looks like it's seen better days. If you're familiar with the Shantae series, this should be very familiar to you. we're gonna move away from that because we got more things to deal with up here. So around this part, we now have ghosts to contend with. These guys will just kind of float towards you and then try to damage you if they get close. I want to grab that item from there. Got a lobster tail. Definitely very good. So yeah, highly recommend having a good supply of healing items when going into this area. Otherwise, you're going to be taking a lot of hits. This area, we got these guys clinging to the trees here that you want to watch out for. These guys kind of behave like thwongs from the Mario series. Well, they'll just be in the air and then will just come crashing down on you, so be careful. So there is that chest over there, but we're not going to be able to get that for quite some time, as we're going to need another power in order to grab that. So let's just move on. Let's leave over here. There's nothing we really need to worry about. So let's just keep moving forward. Or in this case, up. Ow, did you get lost, please? Yeah, looks like there's a lot of things in this area that we are going to have to come back for. See that heart squid over there. Hello, Mr. Save Guy. I definitely need your services. This place has been very mean to me. Alright, let's press forward. Eek! Well, is that a very familiar face? I thought I heard... Roddy Tops! Get away from her, you monster! That was close. You were almost a meal for that thing. What are you doing here anyway? I live here. I heard this island had monster web coverage, so I... Stop with the web jokes! Sorry. Well, you gonna help me down or not? Not a chance. For all I know, this is another scheme so you can eat my brain. I gotta leave you there to rot. But I'm already rotting. Ugh. Fine. Well, what have you got to say for yourself? I think you owe me an apology for all the trouble you caused. I'm sorry, but... Oh, my legs. They're going numb. Oh no, that spider bit you, didn't it? Forget about it. I'm a bad girl. Just leave me here. No way, I can't abandon you in the woods. That'd be much too grim. My house... It's for the forest. If you can get me to my brother's in time, just hold on, Roddy Tops. I'll save you. So welcome to part of this game that some fans typically consider not one of the better parts of this game. This is Run, Run, Roddy Tops. This sequence is quite interesting. We're going to be carrying our good friend Roddy Tops through this area and just kind of watch out for all the hazards in this place. So, Roddy Tops here. This is a character that's been in the Shantae series since the very beginning. She is a zombie girl that Shantae has contended with on a few occasions. Most notably, Shantae has definitely not had the most positive experience with her, considering that Roddy Tops, being a zombie, really wants to eat Shantae's brain. And furthermore, in the events of Risky's revenge, Roddy Tops actually played a role in Shantae losing her genie magic. So, there's definitely a little bit of tension between these two. And not the kind I like to see. But yeah, this is a character I really enjoy. I really love Roddy Tops. Just with her very perky personality. She's just a load of fun. And her design and aesthetic really inspired one of my other characters that I like to draw. Yeah, we just gotta maneuver through this sequence. To be very careful not to touch any hazards. Otherwise, you're going to be reset to the start of the last room you're in. And the sequence also has another thing that can be a bit tricky. In that, there's an achievement if you're able to get through this entire sequence without getting hit once. Which, as I demonstrated before, can be pretty tricky. Just have a lot of different hazards you need to contend with. Like these giant spiky pillars that bring to mind Super Mario World. world. Going through Wendy's castle here. Of course, got the grabby hands that will try to reach for you. Among a lot of other things. This area definitely has a lot of creepy vibes, as we've seen. There's undead all over the place. There was that giant spider that we encountered. So obviously it's the perfect place for Roddy Tops and her kin to set up a new home. Well, the sequence can be a bit tricky. I do like the music. It's got a nice beat to it. Okay, this part. Just want to be careful here because some of the gravestones are actually enemies in disguise. So I can definitely see this as a part that trips up a lot of new players. Just be careful when going through here, and you should be good. Alright, that one definitely got me. We should be pretty good. This is a pretty long sequence, all things considered. Just trying to get Roddy through this area. Like, as much as I love having to carry an unattractive young woman in my arms, this is still a very precarious situation. Shantae is absolutely defenseless during the sequence. We can't whip enemies. We can't use any of our powers. You just really gotta be careful here. Now that we're through with that, we still got quite a ways to go. Yeah, this sequence is long. Now we're through with that. Oh, we got these guys. So these little statue guys who are making kissy faces at you will just charge at you when you're in their line of sight. So definitely want to be careful and not let those guys catch you. Hey, bud. Luckily, they're pretty dumb. They'll just run straight ahead, so you can easily get past these guys. If I remember correctly, there's still a little bit to the sequence we still need to do. If we just keep running, we should be pretty good. Got some more tombstone guys. And more kissy guys. Yeah, they're just throwing so much at you in this sequence, and it is very long. I just got this guy. This weird worm-looking thing that kind of looks like a certain thing I don't want to mention. Yeah, they'll spit their babies at you and also extend their necks up. Be a little tricky to get past those guys. Oh. Okay, definitely wanted to avoid the little baby there, but we not having an easy time of this one. Yeah, this room could definitely be trouble. I'm gonna see if we can get that guy to... Alright, you're shooting up, so we can just hang here for a bit. Then we can get over here. Very good. Oh, come on! And then we have to do this whole room again. Yeah, you can easily see why this is generally considered one of the not the best parts of this game. As annoying as this sequence is, it does lead to some better stuff later on. So, if you can just bear with it, we should be moving to some better stuff here. Guess what's something else I could mention while we're going through here? I've just been kind of having a good day. Got a day off from work, which I've been spending on my own. So I had some... went over to Montana's and grabbed myself a burger, which is definitely something I like every once in a while. Good to treat yourself to some good food every now and then. And I've been spending a lot of time this week just playing through Donkey Kong Bonanza since that game came out recently. And my god, it is such a good game. It's like definitely one I've been very excited for since it was first announced, and yeah, it's just a load of fun. I just really love just smashing through environments, grabbing collectibles in all sorts of places. It's a great time. Definitely love to talk a bit more about this game, but okay, if you manage to get past all of that and get over to the save guy, we're done. Finally managed to get through that sequence. There's a cackle bat there. We'll deal with you later. Hungry. Hungry. So I'll have to look into that a bit later. So we'll head this way. And looks like we're home free. Oh, look who it is. Our old friend,
Just in time.
Abner. Just in time. My hero.
Yo, sis, what's with the peeled shrimp? Unless she's here for dinner, she should turn tail and hit the bricks.
Abner, some big brother you are. Can't you see she's injured?
Looks fine to me.
What? Ha! What a ride! You dirty double-crossing!
Hey, Shantae, is it? I got something I've been meaning to say. I ain't too good at making friends, but you've been good to me and Poe and my sis here. It's just that pirate gal is a real way of getting into your head, making you hear what you want to hear. Guess I'm trying to apologize for some bad calls in the past. Teaming up with that risky boots, dumbest thing I ever did.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Poe and little Walters here are all I got left of whatever life I once had. I can't remember much else, but you always make her smile, and I gotta be grateful for that.
Wow, I don't know what to say.
Forget it, we're square. Where the devil's Poe? He ain't been back in a while.
He was supposed to fix my wagon so we could skip that creepy forest.
Well, if either of you sees him, tell him to check in or I'm gonna be peeved.
So yep, Abner here is another returning face from Risky's Revenge, being the older brother of Roddy Tops. I really like his design, and yeah, just paying off some of these story elements from the previous game with him apologizing for luring you into Risky's trap in the end. He's a good guy, if a bit creepy looking. Actually, let's go in and talk to these two a little bit more.
How we're supposed to live on brains and not hurt nobody, I'll never know.
I mean, someone's gotta eat even if you are a zombie. Poor Poe. I hope that big spider didn't get him. But yep, I really love the zombie characters. They have such cool designs, and I like their personalities too. They're great. So if we break this rock over here, we can finally find Poe. Your brother sent me to find you. Hey, you're that coffee banshee. I remember you. Genie. Half-genie. Well, former half-genie. Thanks, whatever you are. I was scavenging for wagon parts when I got stuck in here. You like to help people in need, right? How about taking a look at it? I'm no mechanic, but sure, I guess. Follow me. The wagon's this way. This is all that's left of our wagon. These wheels I can repair no problem. But that axle will never run smoothly again without some squid oil. And this island doesn't seem to have any squids on it. Well, I can think of one particular squid that we have previously encountered. If you find some squid oil, please bring it. So yep, Poe over here is another one of Roddy Tops's brothers. It's also kind of funny mentioning coffee earlier. Apparently that's one of the few things that zombies are able to consume without needing to feed on brains. At least that's how things work here in the Shantae series. So yeah, because of that, the zombies are able to get by on coffee without needing to actually prey on living people. Which is definitely quite nice. I know a lot of people wouldn't be too happy about having their brains eaten. But yeah, these guys definitely have quite the mission that they are giving us here. So we can quickly warp between the main sections of this area once we're able to get the squid oil. And for that, we're going to need to make a quick stop over back in the mainland. So I'm going to go ahead and use this pirate flare that we picked up. It's an item that will instantly return us to the ship. So might as well use this now. And we're back at the ship. Very handy. Find the next den of evil. I'm counting on you. Are you ready to shove off? Alright, let's do it. Now there is something we could have done before visiting Spiderweb Island that would have allowed us to just progress forward here without needing to backtrack. But I felt we're going to need a return back here anyway later, so might as well save it for a little bit. But yep, we're heading back into Scuttletown because we're going to need to come here if we're going to be able to progress the story. So obviously, we're going to need squid oil. And there is only one squid that we have encountered on this journey so far. That would be able to help us. Just want to quickly look at our gear at the moment. So we only have one heart squid. So I'm actually going to buy another pirate flare just so that we have one handy. Yeah, they're actually pretty cheap at only 30 gems, so let's go ahead and buy one. Obviously, if you buy these items in bulk, then they're going to be much cheaper, but I just needed to grab the one. We're still quite a ways away before we can get our next move upgrade, so we're just going to forget about that for now. So, next thing we are going to need to do is head on over.
Shantae,
Yes?
we have something to discuss with you at the palace. Please, follow me. Perhaps you're aware that the Sultan is away on business. As such, a formal inquiry into your recent actions is not possible.
No?
According to some very old and legal guidelines, responsibility falls to the royal librarian, because apparently he once served on the ruling council. For one day, he has deemed it inappropriate to cut winsome long hair, be it by scissors, jigsaw, or goat mouth. You're free to go.
Phew! That was close.
Oh no, you're not getting off that easily. What's this I hear about you sneaking off to the library?
Oh, that,
I explicitly told you to stay out of trouble, did I not?
Yes, sir.
Next time, you might not be so lucky.
Uncle, I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
Never mind.
All right. I'll be back at my workshop in case you change your mind. I have a rather sensitive project that requires my immediate attention.
So you may scold Shantae from time to time, but you can tell that Uncle Mimic does care for her well-being. He is, after all, her guardian, and cannot be easy to have to go through life without your parents, especially given Shantae's unique situation with her being half-genie and all that. But yep, thanks to our efforts over in the... well, just being able to get back here, managed to have a quick means of getting back here to the palace, and look at this beefcake. Hello! Hi! I am Brandon. Stupendous clandestine powers were revealed to me the day I held erect my enchanted blade and said, "Hey guys, we should go get matching purses. No reason they should be just for ladies anymore. Am I right? Hey, fellas, don't leave. Fellas, come back." And with those words, I became Grandson, the most capable man in the galaxy. Gosh, that's pretty killer. I know, but the clandestine words only work if I hold erect my blade, and I accidentally left my enchanted blade on the bus. It's got to be that specific blade. Bummer. By now, it's probably sealed away in Castle Boneface. That or in a desert. I don't do sand.
It gets in the shoes.
So this fellow here is definitely quite the unique chap. In case you can't tell, he is a parody of the He-Man archetype. Just the very buff, but also kind of flamboyant characters you'd see in a lot of cartoons.
My vacation brochure is probably all soggy and gross.
So we're back over here in the palace because we have a favor we need to ask of our good pal Squid Baron. We just talk over to you.
I bet a travel agent would know of some juicy vacation spots.
So it seems like Squid Baron's only focusing on a vacation at the moment. So we're gonna need to help him out a tad. And for that, we're diving back into the sewers because we heard the traveling brochure salesman has left one of his brochures down here. So we're just going to be exploring the sewers in order to grab what we need. It's also going to be pretty nice for being able to get some other things in this area that we couldn't grab before. Pretty sure there isn't too much we need to worry about down here. There's a couple enemies that we can defeat to get some flesh pops. Maybe a few other stuff. It's nothing we need to worry about at the moment. Alright, now this room, I definitely remember. You're going to want to remember this place for later, because it will be important. For now, I want to head over here. So there was this door we could not access before, and a switch over here. Just got to shoot that with your gun. And that opens up the path to the travel brochure. Very nice. So now that we got this, we're able to move on.
What? You found my vacation brochure? The one all about traveling?
Don't worry, it's as good as new.
No backsies. Ha! One down. I am a master salesman. The boss said I'd never get rid of these lousy brochures. But he's never witnessed my drain conviction sales technique. Huh?
No, well, we can't give it to him, but let's bring it over to Squiddy.
Solid snap! Is that a travel brochure? Can I take it?
Sure. You gave the brochure.
Wowie zowie! Look at all these snapshots. Sand and surf. Free-spirited yet responsible sporty co-ed girls frolicking on the beach? A sweating tennis player drinking from a perspiring glass of water with a slice of lemon? Old men with full heads of wispy pepper gray hair, matching pantsuits with a proud navy blue sailor stripe? Shirts unbuttoned to the third button? I must find this utopia and purchase a timeshare post-haste! How can I ever thank you? Oh, I know.
You got the squid oil. What's this?
It's squid oil. I expelled it fresh this morning from my ink siphon.
Ew!
Whatevs. Later, loser.
There goes Squid Baron. It took a little bit, but we managed to acquire at last the oil we need in order to help Poe fix the wagon. So if I remember correctly, there isn't anything we're going to need to do in the forest. So how about we take our pirate flare that we purchased at the shop and use it to quickly head back to town. Alright, while we're in here, let's head on back to the shop, because I want to purchase another one. Just so we're able to quickly warp back to port again. That should be all that we need to grab at the moment. So yep, thanks to our efforts, we managed to acquire the sought-after squid oil. Before we head off, though, so remember hearing that Uncle Mimic will be heading back to town. So why don't we talk with him here?
Oh no!
What is it, Uncle?
My workshop has been ransacked! Who would do such a thing? Doggone it, there goes my experiment!
That seems to be all that Uncle's talking about here, so we're just gonna go on. Although that does lead the question, why did Mimic have a Tinkerbat inside his workshop? Definitely some interesting questions that we need to ask ourselves later. The ammo baron is bringing soldiers from everywhere! Gunners, pilots, even the techno baron! Oh dear! I wish I had 5 meaty chunklets to help me feel better! Have any for me? Ooh! So we got a new quest from Mayor Scuttlebutt. See, he wants free meat chunklets. We have at least 3 of them, so we're going to need to come back in a little bit once we have enough for you. So yeah, we don't currently have enough, so we'll definitely want to come back later. But don't worry, we'll get you fed, mister. It's going to be important if we're going to continue this adventure after all. But okay, now that we've taken care of that, it's finally time to head back to Spiderweb Island. Are you ready to shove off? Yes, ma'am. Alright, let's do it. So I definitely appreciate the game giving you a quick way to get to the palace without having to worry about backtracking for the forest, since you do need to head over there in order to progress with the story. But now that that's taken care of, we can head back to Spiderweb Island. So we just got to quickly head on over back to Poe. Shouldn't take too long for us to get there. Still plenty of undead we need to contend with on the way. So I hope that the zombies don't mind us having to destroy their kin. I mean, these ones clearly have not had a good cup of joe. So they're not exactly in the most friendly of moods. Just get past these guys and go talk to this guy. Oh, you have squid oil. Is that for me? Sure, take it. Excellent. Ever since we split off from the zombie caravan, we've been in short supply. I can have this fixed in a jiffy. There we go. With that, the zombie wagon is all fixed. Hey, you're pretty amazing, Poe. Thank you, milady. What do you say we take it for a test drive? It could get a little dangerous, just saying. You're sure Roddy won't mind? It's no problem. Just remember to hold on tight. So now that we fixed up the wagon, we can quickly travel between the sections of the island. Wow, she handles beautifully. I could have done it without you, milady. Here. You got the shriveled thing. It smells. How sweet. I'll cherish it always. But what exactly is it? What? Don't you like it? No, it's great. It's from a dead guy. Ugh. I'll be around in case you ever need a ride. See you. So, yep, Poe will be handling the rides in between the Spiderweb Island areas. So we just come and check in on him whenever. So I want to quickly head over to the other zombies and see what they have to say now.
You found Poe? You're alright, girl.
What about you, Roddy? If the wagon's fixed, you can use it, I guess. Just no peeking inside. I can't imagine the kind of things we'll find in there. I mean, given that Roddy clearly has feelings for Shantae, even if they are a bit of the more hungry version, there's probably something there related to Shantae. So now we got the shriveled thing, we should be able to access the next area ahead. But I want to dispatch of this cackle bat since we have access to it here. Just a pretty simple cackle bat you gotta take care of. But the other ones in this area should be a lot more tricky to deal with. Where that managed to take care of another enemy. Let's quickly save our game since we have definitely been through a lot in this session so far. If we head over this way, there's no way I'm going back in there. Yeah, you are not allowed to go back into the Run Roddy Tops area. Not like we want to go in there anymore. Oldie moldy leftovers? Hungry. Feed a shriveled thing. Yep. you gave Shriveled Fang.
More! Bring more delicious thing inside!
And that opens the path forward. So yep, got ourselves another dungeon to deal with. Cackle Tower. This area is definitely going to be a lot more involved than the last place we visited. So definitely want to be careful in this area, because there is a lot we got to contend with. What am I doing? We just climbed the chains. So yep, we got ourselves a new dungeon to go through, which should be a lot trickier to deal with than the last one we were in. So definitely be careful when going through here. So we got these skeleton guys over here. I like when you kill them, they turn into tombstones and then explode. It's a nice little detail. Then we got these guys that explode when you kill them. Definitely pretty extra, all things considered. Yep, we got ourselves a lot of undead to deal with in this area. Just kind of the general theme of Spiderweb Island. Just tons of undead. Lots of tricky things for you to deal with. Also, this place is just falling apart, so gotta remember that. Just watch out if you see a tile beginning to fall on the ceiling, because that could be painful. I don't need to hit the jars in the save room, since those will always give you hearts. Let us keep moving. I definitely really love the aesthetic of this place. Just the whole stormy and oppressive atmosphere here. Definitely very cool. This looks like something from Uncle's workshop, but it doesn't appear to have power. So that's probably going to be useful for something we got to do in this area. Oh, we got this old plant guy there. Definitely want to watch out for him. So we can hit that pot over there to make those gems calm down. Except the plant guys, you want to be careful, because they can... I believe that they're able to spit attacks at you. So you just want to quickly take them out before they can do any damage. Moving forward... So we got a path we're not going to be able to access because there's a wide gap over here. So let us head back this way and see what we can find elsewhere. Definitely going to need something to power that machine if we're going to make progress in this area. So what I like about this dungeon is that it is very vertical, with a few branching paths that you find to the side of these areas. So you definitely want to be careful when maneuvering through this area. Oh, we got ourselves a new enemy. So this bat lady, she will attack you with her mace when she gets the chance. And will also teleport around. So definitely be careful. Ow, come on. There we go! Defeated another lady and got her milk. Okay. I am not gonna ask how we were able to obtain that. Alright, but now that we dispatched of that, should be able to move forward. So now that we have this key, we'll be able to progress up here. See what we can get. Alright, this area. So we got these mouth things, and just want to move in the direction and that the mouths will not spit you out, and they will take you to a variety of different things. And depending on the path that you're able to... Oh, we were already in this room, right? So it's a bit of a tricky part here. Yeah, just use these guys kind of like the barrels from the Donkey Kong games. They will launch you over the place, and just want to be very careful of that. Then we're going to ride these platforms here. They remind me of going through Gutsman's stage back in Mega Man. This will take us over here. We can hit that pot to get that bit of health. Then we'll shoot that one to gather up the gems. Very good. Yeah, this area is just really cool. Definitely a step up from what we've seen before in terms of both difficulty and just the aesthetic. This area is great. You get out of here, you. Also gives us good opportunities to gather treasure. So now, I know that you do want to be careful around some areas, because you usually expect to find a hidden crawl space in certain areas. So I want to look at what we currently have in terms of gear. We got a good supply of these. Oh, we've actually collected, like, one of every major item that we can obtain. So yeah, that's definitely very nice. Definitely want to remember that we have that stockpile of items. Over here, just want to take that, and then we can go down here in order to grab the Cackle Tower map. Very nice. So with this, we can now see the full map of this area. Yeah, it's a big one. We're going to be here a while. So thanks to these floaty guys, we're able to maneuver over here. And now we're in one of the higher sections of this area. It's like one that we couldn't access before from the lower levels. I would like to try and hit that pot. It's probably not anything major inside. So let's just keep heading this way. That little skelly boys. Definitely a big fan of kind of the gothic aesthetic that a lot of enemies in games typically have, especially in these games. Like, I definitely tell that a lot of the enemies around here have a lot of similar vibes to the enemies you'd find in the Castlevania series, which is definitely a game series that a lot of people enjoy. This sequence, right, this part you want to be a bit careful. So we can shoot that switch, opening up the path over there. And I see that heart squid there, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get that from this angle. If we head that way, yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. I'm trying to remember what we need to do for that heart squid, but yeah, we'll try to grab everything here. I'm fairly certain that you can grab every item in a dungeon on your first visit, but I could be wrong. Just try to be careful as we're going through this place. Alright, so now that we hit that switch, we can head this way. And that launches us all the way over here. So now we can hit that switch to activate that. Very good. We can crawl into this wall here to grab this treasure. Very good. We'll want to take this guy, who will launch us over here. Yeah, I don't know exactly how we're going to be able to get to that squid. We're not going to worry about that for now. So we're going to head over here, then we'll launch ourselves this way. Which brings us over here. So you can see a little device over there, but there's not much we can do with that from this angle. So we head over this way. We're back over here. And looking at things, I think we want to head down. So we go over here. So there is a locked door, so we'll want to remember that for later. If we head over here. So when you're looking at the map, you want to be on the lookout for any of the white squares, as those will show you something that will be important to you in the dungeon. In this case, that's going to be where we're going to find one of our important items, which are going to be necessary to complete this adventure. Alright, for this sequence, I'm going to equip a pike ball just so that we can deal with some of the enemies around here. There's definitely a lot we got to deal with, so Be best to have a quick and easy way to just dispatch of foes. Take care of this plant guy. Then we got some slimes. Very similar to the ones we faced when we dealt with the eyeball plant. By taking care of those guys, that opens up the path. Alright, this brings us over here. So we're gonna have to take this guy to shoot us up here. This gives a chest with... You've obtained Risky's hat. A very nice chapeau. Press the hat button while in air to float slowly down. So yep, now we have the hat. Trying to... Alright, so it's the right trigger that brings up the hat. Would have liked if the game mentioned that at any point. But yeah, Risky's hat serves basically as a parachute, giving us a quick and easy way to get across large gaps, as well as slowing our descent in certain areas. And with this, we now have everything we need in order to progress through this dungeon. So, first thing we're going to want to do is try to head back to the lower levels, because there's something down there we should be able to get now. Hello, old man. So yep, with this bad boy, we can just freely float. Definitely a very nice power. One that's definitely going to see use in our adventure. It's a nice detail. I forget if I mentioned this before, but anytime you use any of Risky's gear, Shantae's appearance changes, where you can see her with the pirate bandana that she had in that one cutscene. It's a very cute detail, showing her entering pirate mode in order to deal with some of the things ahead on this adventure. I definitely really like it. It's a nice little aesthetic choice. So now we made it over here. We're able to hit this generator over here in this very secluded room. Also, that is a lot of skulls. I like to imagine that this was a mausoleum where a lot of the people who were killed by the pirate master were eventually sealed away. Which explains why this area is just full of undead. So now we dealt with that, we can see that one of the lights on this machine are on. Very good. But it's not enough to allow us to move forward on this adventure. So we're going to want to head over this way so we can head back to the higher levels. So while we're just dealing with this here, what's something else I could mention? I guess pretty recently I've been having some ideas for some new characters that I would like to draw at some point. Specifically, I want to try and come up with a bunch of different superhero characters. And I got some interesting ideas for, like, a few of them. So definitely would like to get started on that art sometime in the future. Of course, you can see all my art over on my DeviantArt account. You can see the link in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen there. Okay, so now that we have the ability to glide, this should help us out in a few areas around here. Namely, having to deal with those. I'm kind of thinking of some other things. Alright, this is what I was thinking of. If you go into that alcove, that allows you to go up here and grab that heart squid. So I knew there was a way to get that thing. It's like, it's funny that sequence kind of reminds me of this one particular moment in Super Metroid, where you have to do a Shine Spark in order to get a certain power-up in Meridia, which is normally very difficult to try and get, because it's up in a very high location. Alright, we should be good to head over this way. And there's nothing we can do over there, but we do see that there is that switch. So we're going to have to take the high path here in order to be able to progress onward. So we head this way. We can shoot over here. It's kind of thinking about all the different things we can do here. So I have an idea on what we need to do. Also just gotta be wary of a few things in this area. Something tells me that there is something in this vertical shaft that I want to take care of. So for now, let's just float on down with the hat and kind of get our bearings here. Oh, there you are. Okay. At the very least, we now know that that heart squid is over there. So we just gotta do a little bit of backtracking to get to it. Because I knew there was something over there, just have those intuitions. Also, I did, replay this game a couple months ago, just so I could get my bearings with revisiting this game on stream. So we can grab this little heart squid, getting us ever closer to some more health. We can hit that. Then we can take that guy to shoot all the way up here, granting us quick access to the top of this shaft. Very good. So now, how about we press onward? Alright, so there's yet another heart squid over here. Given our current setup, would we be able to grab this? Just a little concerned. So I think, yeah, we can crawl into that space on that ledge, and that allows us to access that heart squid. Very good. It's a very well-kept secret there. So definitely appreciate it. What I like about this game, it does make you have to think about your position in these environments in order to best deal with trying to get these collectibles. Alright, so now we made over here, so we can shoot that to collect the goodies. Though there isn't anything else we can do over that way. So, if we head this way, we can hit that switch. And now there's just one more of these devices we need to hit in order to finish up our route through this area. So we're going to want to head back down to one of the lower areas. I think we head this way? No. I'm thinking of the path that we need to take here. Alright, so there's that key. We're gonna need to find the key in order to go where we need to. So I'm thinking we're gonna need to head... Alright, so that area led into that room we couldn't access. So we head over here. We can grab these guys over here. And I don't think there's anything else on this side that we can get. Alright, shoot over here. So we're gonna need to head back to the upper levels over here if we're gonna make any progress. Actually, I don't know if we'll be able to do anything here. Nope, we can head to this secret room. And that was pretty well hidden, actually. And with that, we are able to grab the key we need. Very good. That was definitely a good secret. Wouldn't be able to easily notice that, huh? Alright, so now we can head down, and Want to head over here so we can activate the last machine. Alright, open up that key. Now we hit that bad boy. So by doing that, we should be ready to activate the machine. So I want to fly all the way down. I don't know why I'm stopping myself. The lights are on. It's ready to activate. So you just turn on the machine, and this thing is going to generate wind, which we can use in conjunction with our hat to be able to float up. So now we have free reign to just fly all throughout this dungeon. Very nice. So now we're able to head up here, giving us an easy path over to this area we couldn't access before. Alright, how about we use another pike ball? So we got a lot of enemies we gotta obviously deal with here. The enemy gauntlets are definitely a good test of your skills that you have begun to use throughout the journey. And there's definitely quite a lot of enemies we need to contend with, so being able to master fighting against all the different enemy varieties is something you want to have in this adventure. Alright, that takes care of one of the bat ladies. And there goes the other one. Now we got these bats to deal with. I always like the appearance of these bats. They're oddly very cute. Funny enough, I believe Shantae has the ability to turn into a bat in one of the later games. I think specifically in Half-Genie Hero. And obviously her bat form is pretty darn cute. Alright, so we can use the wind here to get up over here. Dealt with another plant guy. And we're able to open this chest here, giving us yet another key. So with that, I believe we have everything we need in order to progress through this dungeon. So I'm pretty sure we gotten all the heart squids we need in this area. So I'm pretty sure it was just, I think, the 2 we needed to grab, so we should all be good. Now we're able to head this way. So of course, finally we got to see some spiders in this area. You can probably tell what we're gonna face as the big threat at the end here. Of course, we got this trial to do. We just gotta carefully maneuver past the obstacles using your hat to elevate yourself. And this part can be a little bit tricky. Some pretty tight turns you need to make in order to get through that. But we managed to best that, so we should be just about done here. Yep, there is the save guy, which I believe indicates that we are about done this dungeon. Yep, so we'll just save our game, and we'll go take on the boss. There's one other spider over here. Not like we can even reach it from this angle. But let's go into the boss room. Empress Spider, Chit Chat Queen Royale. This was the same spider we saw attacking Roddy Tops back when we first visited this area. So I'm going to use the Pike Ball and the Monster Milk to increase our attack damage. Just gotta strike the Empress Spider in the eye. So really not more complicated than that. She will also drop spider eggs over here from time to time. So those will obviously hatch into little spiders if you leave them be. Which is very similar to the Legend of Zelda boss Queen Goma in that regard. So definitely want to keep that in mind as we're doing this fight. Alright, just gotta avoid the fire, use the hat to just quickly evade that, and you should be good. We should be doing some pretty good damage to her already. Alright, being a little reckless with these shots. Now, it should be pretty evident, but there are achievements in this game, depending on how well you're able to do these bosses. Oh, in fact, I actually got an achievement for destroying her eggs. You also get an achievement if you're able to defeat the boss without taking any damage. So, you know, good luck with that. Alright, that's all her babies dealt with. We got another pike ball. Let's do that. And let's use a flesh pop. So that will restore 2 health, which I believe makes it the worst of the healing items you can use. Jump over the flames. Alright, should be just a few more hits to take you out. Alright, becomes more fire. Really impressed with the sprite art for this game, obviously. This is a very detailed boss enemy here. And with that, the Empress Spider has been destroyed. Talk about pest control.
Tinkerbats.
Huh?
Hey!
Get back here, you! You dropped a map. Another map. I'll just go ahead and grab that. You got the Tan Line Island map. I did it! That's one less source of evil for the Pirate Master. I better go tell Risky. Yeah, we will definitely tell her. However, before we do that, so now that we have access to Risky's hat, this gives us some new things we're able to do. For instance, we can head over that gap, we can pass the tree, to this area where we can find yet another cackle bat. And that gets ourselves some more dark magic. Very good. Alright, so I want to say that we got everything that we could have gotten inside of the Cackle Tower. So I'm pretty sure we got all the heart squids. And if we're doing that, so yeah, the next couple of things that we can get here, we're sadly not going to be able to do until much later. So we're going to want to come back here later. But for now, how about we check in with the zombies, see how they're doing. What's up? Alright, seems like more the same dialogue. Alright, just not even acknowledging the fact that we killed the spider that tried to eat Roddy. Wait, I don't know what kind of special properties the spider would have, but eating someone who is already dead, that cannot be good for your stomach. Alright, I do have a pirate flare, but I think I'll save that for a bit later. Let's ride for the forest there, Poe. Thank you kindly. Like I said, we're going to need to come back here later in order to get all the other things we missed, but it's not going to be too much of an issue. Especially not with the current stuff that we've acquired. Ooh, got some more monster milk to replenish the one we used up when fighting the spider. Very nice. Oh, there's another gem there we could get. Thank you. Let us go talk to Risky. You're back! Not without incident, but I found another island map. And your hat. I thought you'd be excited. I've been thinking about my men, and the curse that controls them. We all sailed together under the Pirate Master's command. The Pirate Master is clever. He'd expect me to go after my pistol and hat. That's why he brought them here, to infuse them with his evil. He's been using the weapons to lure me in. He plans to trigger the curse and put me back under his control. I can't believe I almost fell for such an obvious ruse. Is that why you won't come with me? Because you're under the same curse as your men? I'm not afraid of him! I didn't say you were. I despise him! I'd like to see him return, just so I can crush him myself! I didn't mean to get you all worked up. But hey, at least we're finally talking, right? It's good to get these things off your chest. I'll wait for you on board. You gave the tan line map. So with that, we managed to open up a new path on our journey. So we got an even number of squids and cacklebats we need to hunt down there. So yep, looking at what we were able to get on Spiderweb Island, we managed to get all of these squids that we needed to get inside the dungeon. So there's just one that we need to get in Spiderweb Island itself. So before we end off this session here, because I feel it's a good time to do so, I want to head back to Scuttletown, as with our current gear, we now have some things that will be able to assist us in our journey. And I can see we managed to acquire 4 squids. So let's go talk with the Squidsmith. Scuttletown Squidsmith, at your service. I take adorable little heart squids and melt them down to make more health for you. Ready to afford some heart holders? Thank you. Here you go. Ah! There, max hearts have increased by 1. Alright, so with that we now have 20 health. Since each heart counts as 4 hits, you know? And we currently have 6 dark magic. Not bad so far. Alright, so with our current gear, I think we want to head back into the shop and see what we can purchase. So we can obviously grab another pirate flare if we want, but the main thing I want is the upgrades. So we can do the pistol tune-up to make it deal more damage. With the current amount of money we have, we can only basically afford one thing. So we can't do the shampoo yet. So I think we'll get the silky cream to increase our attack speed. And now that we have one of every major item that we can have in our inventory, I think we are pretty good there. So now our attacks are much faster. They'll be really useful for dealing with enemies in the future. Alright, so last thing I want to do for this session is I want to head back to this area, because now that we have Risky's hat, there should be some new things that we can do around this area. So of course we're going to want to head through the Scarecrow field. Ow. I did not approve of that, sir. That was not very gourd of you to do. Sorry, just definitely have a love of bad puns. What can I say? I've definitely got some inspiration over the years, given one of the content creators I follow. Speaking of which, I've definitely been watching a lot of Chugga Conroy's playthrough of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess that he's been doing recently. Yeah, man, it's been a fun time. He's definitely managed to make some really good progress in that game. And I am very excited for what he's going to show off pretty soon. Especially because he's getting close to the final dungeon of the game. And I'm really excited for some of the things that happen there. Yep, now that we have this hat, we're able to float over to this pillar, allowing us to grab a heart squid there. So that's all well and good, but there's still some other things that we can grab in the Tangled Forest now that we have this hat. So just over here, want to head up into the trees. Obviously, it wouldn't be an exploration of Tangled Forest if you didn't go into the trees. Just want to use the hat to hover over to the left here, as high as you can go, and this gives you an area with another cacklebat. Come down, boy. There we go. Managed to get you nice and killed. It is kind of sad that we are basically killing Risky's men in order to get the dark magic from them. But hey, they're evil. Also, Risky Boots is evil, so, you know, one less minion she can use against us, the better. Besides, she's got like 1 million of these guys. So, what's killing a couple dozen of them, you know? So sadly, this heart squid up here is still too far out of range for us to grab with a hat. So we're gonna need to come back much later to be able to get this one. Yeah, you can plainly see that one is too high up to get. So I believe that's everything we can get in our current trip to Scuttletown for the time being. So I feel like this is a good spot to... Actually, with our current gems, we might be able to grab something back in town. Let's go head over. It's gonna take a little bit to get there, so I want to not waste my pirate flares if I can. Just mainly use them in very specific situations. But we should be good just to hurry back to town and grab what we need, if we currently have enough money to get it. We are definitely excited with the amount of progress we made so far. Managing to clear up another dungeon, and managed to make some really good progress in our adventure, especially with gathering collectibles. And I'm definitely very excited to continue this. I'm going to try and do more streams of this game this week, because I have a lot of free time. So I can easily see us doing 2 more sessions this week, which would definitely get us a good chunk of the way through this adventure. This isn't really the longest game out there. It's decently sized, but you can easily clear it in a few hours. Alright, with our current gems, what are we able to purchase? Going all the way down the list. Alright, so we can't buy any more things for our hair, but we can upgrade our moves. So we can learn the backdash, quickly evades attackers. Yep, we can afford this, so let's go ahead and buy it. And since we have enough money for it, we should be able to grab another potion. Very nice. So now we got the backdash. We'll press the scimitar button to backdash. Yeah, we currently don't have that item. Spoilers for the future of this playthrough. But that will be pretty useful to use. You want to hit left trigger, and that causes Shantae to do a little dodge behind her. It'd be pretty useful if an enemy's about to attack you and you just want to evade the attack. So yep, with that taken care of, I think we're pretty much done here. It's been a pretty good session, and I'm definitely looking forward to moving on in this adventure. So next time in Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, we'll be heading off to Tan Line Island and see what else that we can find on our journey. Until next time, have a good day and take care.